day, folks. Welcome to the Legal Sidekicks. Tonight, we're diving deep into the legal trenches to meet the real MVPs, the multitasking, deadline beating, research running superheroes known as the Paralegals. Who are these behind the scenes legal warriors? What fuels their power? Coffee? Color coded folders? The thrill of a well organized case file? This is Getting to Know the Paralegals. Hello, how are you?
Hello everyone, I am Donabella D. So I am a Philippine lawyer currently working as a paralegal of a US-based attorney, and my niche is estate and Medicaid planning.
Your first question. What kind of law do you practice and what drew you in that specific area?
So I wasn't really drawn to this specific area for any particular reason. It's simply the practice area that I was assigned to. So that is Medicaid planning, estate planning.
What's the most rewarding aspect of your job?
The most rewarding aspect of my job is probably the opportunity to help clients find peace of mind by planning for the future and protecting their loved ones. It would be fulfilling to guide people through difficult decisions and make the legal process feel manageable, knowing that my work provides them that clarity and comfort is what makes this field meaningful to me.
What's the most challenging aspect of your job?
Since I am a Philippine lawyer, I have to make myself familiar and learn about the federal and state Medicaid rules since they differ from different states. So additionally, my work requires attention to detail. Thus, there is a need for constant learning and navigating the dynamics involved in the entire legal process.
Can you describe a case you're particularly proud of and why?
I'm just starting out and haven't had the opportunity to handle a case independently just yet. So I can't point a specific one. However, during my training and research, I've learned how meaningful and important estate and Medicaid planning is, especially to the elderly.
What skills do you think are essential for success in your field of law?
So lawyers and paralegals working in estate planning need a blend of legal, analytical, and interpersonal skills to navigate complex regulations and serve vulnerable clients effectively. So they need familiarity with federal and state Medicaid rules and their skills on analyzing clients' financial situation and structuring legal strategies accordingly.
If your career had a tagline that summarized your approach to law, what would it be?
It's an interesting question. So it would be planning today, protecting tomorrow. Thank you. I think this tagline reflects my personal style and my values as a lawyer, and especially in our field of estate planning.
What are some common misconceptions people have about lawyers in your field?
There are quite a few common misconceptions about lawyers, but these ones are my favorites. The first one is that lawyers only care about money.
Oh.
Well, yeah. When lawyers do charge for their services, many are deeply committed to helping people. They even offer pro bono work. Second is that we have to know everything, especially about the law. Yeah, no lawyers knows everything. The law is vast and it's constantly changing. So even experienced and seasoned lawyers continually research and consult references. So those are the common misconceptions that people have about lawyers in our field.
What are some of the biggest ethical dilemmas you've encountered?
As someone early in my legal career, I haven't yet encountered a major ethical dilemma firsthand. However, I've learned that one of the biggest ethical challenges lawyers face is balancing their duty to advocate for a client with their obligation to remain honest and uphold the integrity of the legal system. That's why I'm committed to, staying informed about professional responsibility rules and seeking mentorship when faced with certain situations.
How do you stay updated on the latest legal developments and precedents?
So aside from conducting legal research and watching the news, in the Philippines, lawyers are required to complete MCLE. We have this mandatory continuing legal education, which involves completing a certain number of units every compliance period. So this is the Supreme Court's way of ensuring that lawyers remain competent and updated on recent laws, jurisprudence, and legal trends. So non-compliance will result in suspension, and in most extreme cases, disbarment proceedings.
What advice would you give to someone considering a career in law today?
My advice to someone considering a career in law is to be sure you're pursuing it for the right reasons. Because make sure that you care about the people, fairness and justice, not just because it sounds prestigious. The legal profession can be very demanding and complex, but also rewarding if you are willing to put in the time to grow. So stay curious, be humble, and never stop learning, guys.
Yes.
What does a typical workday look like for you?
My day starts at 9 a.m. So that is 10 p.m. in the Philippines. So that's where I send my start of the emails and check and respond to emails and check for upcoming meetings and task in the task list. So for the whole day, most of my time, I do my task using tools like Clio and Outlook. And at 12, I usually have my 1 hour break and I usually use it to take a nap. And then after the break, I will get back to work on my pending task. And from 5:40 to like 6 p.m., I wrap things up and send my end of day updates to my attorney and log the completed task in the case system.
What's the first thing you do when you get to the office?
I make sure that everything is I make sure that my table is set for the day. I don't want to work in a messy table or a messy room. So that is the first thing that I do.
How much of your day is spent in court versus in the office?
No, I don't spend any time in court since I'm focused on my work as a paralegal.
Yes.
If your daily legal battles were a reality TV show, what would be its catchy title and what would be the dramatic tagline for the season finale?
Yeah, very interesting question. I think mine would be entitled Justice on Draft. No, yeah, because paralegals are usually assigned in drafting legal documents. The behind the scenes professionals to keep the legal engine running smoothly. And my tagline would be expert legal support tailored to your needs.
Ooh, that's nice. Okay.
How do you manage your workload and deadlines?
So effectively managing workload and deadlines, especially in the legal field, is all about organization, prioritization, and communication. So I sort tasks by urgency. I do the high impact and time sensitive tasks first. I break them into manageable chunks and I keep a checklist to stay on track. If I think I'm falling behind the schedule, I update my lawyer immediately.
What's the most unexpected thing that's ever happened during your workday?
This interview. it's very interesting. I have never expected it to be set up this way. Like I feel like a talk show type of
Yes.
like I feel like I'm in a television program.
How do you collaborate with colleagues and other legal professionals?
Since I work remotely and primarily support a US-based attorney, collaboration is mostly one-on-one. So our collaboration is built on clear and consistent communication, and I make sure to provide him timely updates, ask clarifying questions when needed, and proactively manage deadlines. So while I don't collaborate with a larger, legal team on a daily basis, I'm confident in working independently and maintaining strong professional communication.
Now, this is an interesting one. Can you give an expectation versus reality moment?
So my expectation is kind of like you're like sipping coffee, while managing tasks in your cozy loungewear. That's my expectation. But in reality, I need to learn everything from the basics to the most complex matters, and then the Wi-Fi or the power suddenly decides it's your enemy.
My.
Oh, then I have to relocate. That is my reality.
Imagine your office had a soundtrack that played whenever you enter your office. What song would perfectly capture the vibe of your typical workday?
Mine would probably be 9 to 5 by Dolly Parton. I don't know if you know it. It's a cheeky classic, but make it remote. I think that's my song.
What's the common question clients ask you?
So, well, I don't really talk with clients. Not with this job though. But with my previous jobs, I'd say that the most common questions clients ask of lawyers is that what should we do? They would always ask for legal advice, especially during critical legal situations.
What sparked your initial interest in becoming a lawyer?
Well, to be honest, I had never dreamed of becoming a lawyer. Yeah, but my late father wanted me to be one, and of course I took the opportunity, and I actually ended up loving it. I think there was a shift in perspective when I entered law school. It's like stumbling into it and discovering a passion for advocacy, like giving voice to those who don't have one.
Oh, it turned out well.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
nice.
Was there a specific event or person that inspired you to pursue this career?
As I mentioned earlier, I think my father saw my potential and he pushed me to try law school. He said, "Just try, and if you don't like it, you can just quit." And now here I am.
What was your experience like in law school? Are there any memorable moments?
It was a wild ride, like being in a pressure cooker with a side of existential crisis.
Oh my
Yes,
god.
spending almost an entire day at a local coffee shop or at the library reading books in more than 20 cases a day, the nerve-wracking recitations, and the bonding with classmates through sleepless nights,
Oh.
shared confusion, and caffeine-fueled meltdowns. It's also about I don't like the part where I miss vacations and family occasions. Yeah.
If you weren't a lawyer, what other profession do you think you might have enjoyed?
Maybe a psychologist.
Ooh.
Yeah, I have always wanted to know why people think and act the way they do. I'm fascinated by human behavior and the psychology behind it. I think it's a job that does not feel like it's work, if you know what I
It
mean.
is really interesting.
What did you want to be when you grew up as a child?
As a child, I remember I really want to become a medical doctor. I think it's a very common ambition among Filipino or Asian kids. Yeah, yeah. They always say, "Oh, I want to be a doctor because I want to help people."
Yeah, it's either a
that-
doctor, a teacher.
If
Yeah.
not a lawyer, then a teacher or the doctor.
Yeah.
Were there any childhood heroes or role models that influenced your path?
Like
No,
teens.
not
Oh, okay.
it was all because of my dad. Thanks to him.
What's one of your fondest childhood memories?
My fondest memory as a child would probably be the time when every weekend after church, me together with my two younger siblings or brothers would go to our grandpa's house where he would cook, sunny side ups, give us chocolates and ice cream, and let us play Nintendo all day. And sometimes we'd also get to play with our cousins at his backyard. I love it. It was so simple back then.
What's your favorite Filipino food and why?
It would be tinolang manok.
Tinolang manok. Yes.
My mama's the best recipe as well. It brings me a lot of comfort. Yeah.
Have you ever tried balut? What did you think?
Yes, and I actually like it. I like this distinct taste. Yeah, actually,
Haven't tried that yet.
good. You should.
I definitely should.
What's your favorite American food?
I like hamburgers and hot dogs.
Oh yeah. Hamburgers. How about fries?
Yes.
Besides-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever traveled to the United States? If so, what was your favorite part?
Yeah, I've never been to the US, but I would like to visit it someday.
What's a hobby or passion you pursue outside of work?
Every week we try to play badminton. I also love singing. I'm a part of the church music ministry. I also like hiking. I have climbed some of the mountains in the Mindanao, particularly Mount Apo, the highest
Oh
one.
my gosh. That's amazing.
What's a book, movie, or TV show you've enjoyed recently?
Okay, so I like watching TV series. I love rewatching Friends.
Oh my.
Mo-
Yes.
you love it? Modern Family and Big Bang Theory.
Same. Big Bang and Friends. Sadly, they're not in Netflix right
I'm
now.
not anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could have dinner with any three people, living or deceased, who would it be and why?
I would trade anything to have a moment with my dad, who
Oh.
passed away like weeks ago, just 2 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh. Oh God.
And my and my two grandpas. It's like I'm a reunion. Just thinking about it makes me emotional. Yeah.
What's one thing people might be surprised to learn about you?
That I'm actually a lawyer. Because because they think I'm way too young for it.
Oh,
And because of my quite introverted personality, they really don't think I'm a lawyer.
If your life as a lawyer was a meme, what would the image be and what would the caption say?
Can I just show you? I have a meme.
Oh, go ahead.
Like, this is what I don't know if you can see it. This is what my mom thinks I do. Like in the courtroom, my
Oh, yeah.
friends think that I have
Okay, I get it.
and then what I think I do, I feel like a superhero.
Yes.
But in reality, this is what I actually do.
Expectation versus reality. Yeah. Kind of
Paper load.
that.
Do you have any pets? If so, tell me about them.
No, I can't have pets. I don't have the time to take good care of them.
What's your favorite way to unwind after a stressful day?
So after a long day, I would have a cup of coffee with my Netflix on, just having that, slow, peaceful morning, slow mornings.
Yeah, that's the best.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be and how would you use it in your work or personal life?
The power to read minds.
Mm.
Yeah, it can be very, very useful too in the courtroom or as a lawyer. Because by then I'd know what the opposing counsel and the judge are thinking, and I would use it to my advantage.
Yes.
I will win every case I have.
And there you have it. 40 questions, countless insights, and a whole new appreciation for the passion, pressure, and purpose behind the practice of law. From childhood dreams to courtroom drama, we've uncovered stories that shape the advocates fighting for justice every day. Thanks for joining us in this special edition of the Legal Sidekicks. Until next time, keep asking questions, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of a good argument. I'm Crystal A, signing off.
Those were a lot of questions. I never thought that we would finish this early.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.